Hello everyone. Let us create a shining and animating silver badge in Photoshop. So let us start. Let's create the badge first and then we'll create the animation. So I have taken an A5 size landscape document and what I will do is first I'll create an ellipse. Select the ellipse tool and then we'll just hold shift so that we can create a perfect ellipse and just create an ellipse and adjust it exactly at the center of the document. Right. So the next thing we'll do is we'll start applying layer styles to this particular ellipse. We need to create a silver metallic look to this ellipse. So we are creating a badge that looks like a silver badge. So we'll first open the layer style. Right. And what we'll do is we'll start with the gradient. We'll apply a silver color gradient. That is, we'll apply a light gray and a dark gray. So a light gray and dark gray gradient. And then we will use the gradient style as reflected. And when we selected reflected gradient style, the center color has to be light. See, if I click on this reverse option, we can see the center color is dark right now, but we want the center color to be light. Right. So this is how our ellipse should look like. Then we will just turn on the bevel and emboss. We will reset all the values and then we will start from the scratch. So here in bevel and emboss settings, on top we can see the style. We will keep the style as inner bevel and we will select the technique as chisel hard. Right. And we will increase the depth. We will also increase the style. And the next thing we will do is we'll come down to the shading section. In shading, we will just turn off the use global light and we will change the angle. Right. And here we have the gloss contour and we will select ring double from the gloss contour options. Right. And then let's come down to this highlight mode. In the highlight mode, let us select linear dodge. Right. And we will also increase the opacity a little bit. We will also adjust the angle and we can already see some changes. Right. So we can see the silver look on the badge. Right. Slightly we will also reduce the opacity for the shadow mode and we can just play with these angle settings. Now we will create the text. Now it's time for us to create the text. So let's select the type tool and then we'll just create a text or a letter. We'll just create one single letter S and we will just increase the size of it. We'll select the font as Impact and we'll also give it a pure red color. Later we will just apply the same silver layer style to this particular text. Just we will place this letter S at the center of the document. Right. Now all we have to do is to get the same layer style, the silver layer style that we have created for the ellipse. We will just hold Alt in PC or Option in Mac and drag this FX icon from the ellipse layer and drop it over the letter S layer. Right. So we can see we have applied the same layer style to letter S. Right. Now we will slightly change the layer style that we have applied to letter S. So simply double click on the right side of the text layer to open layer styles. And now what we'll do is we'll select the bevel and emboss, and we will increase the size value, or sorry, decrease the size value, and we will change the style to pillow emboss. So we can see here it looks different now. Right. And we can also slightly change the angle here. Right. Now it looks better. Right. So now we have created a silver badge. We will create a black background behind this badge. Right. So this is the silver badge. Now we will be starting with the animation. So to animate the badge, so we need to first go to window menu and open the timeline. So here we have the timeline, and in the timeline here we can see create frame animation, and we don't want frame animation. We will open create video timeline. We will select this option, create video timeline. Right. And when you open the video timeline, your timeline looks like this. You can see these purple bars, and each bar is corresponding to the layer that we see in our layers panel. So we have 3 purple bars, and each bar has its corresponding layer. Right. So we can see the letter S. If we collapse this icon, we can see the values of this letter S. We can animate these values. The values for this letter S are transform, opacity, style, text bar, and also we can see what are the values that are there for this ellipse. So we can see for the ellipse also we have these options: style, opacity, position. Right. And we can also animate the background. We are anyways not going to animate the background. We will animate the letter S as well as the layer style of the ellipse tool or the ellipse. Right. So now we'll start animation. Right. So the first thing we'll do is we will start with the ellipse. See, here we have the option style. So what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to first create keys. So how we can create keys? We just need to click on this stopwatch. We can see a small stopwatch to the left of this style option. Just click on it. So once we click on it, so we can see a yellow key is created. It is important to create this key in order to animate. Right. So once we have created the key, we will just move this time indicator. This red line is called time indicator. So we will just go to, let us say 3 seconds. and we can just double click on this ellipse layer, double click to the right side of the ellipse layer to open the layer style, and then just we will select the bevel and emboss, and we can just observe here, we can just play with this angle value. So we can see so how it's changing, and we can also play with this depth value. So we can see here. So we can just change the depth value as well as the angle value, so that we can get different combinations, right? And if we play this, so we can see here, so we can see we are getting an animation, a very simple animation. Right, and we can also try to improve it if we want. We can just open the layer style again, and we can try to do different experimentations here. So let's see how it looks right now. Right, so we can see here. Right, so then what we'll do is we will also try to animate the letter S. So we'll just collapse this icon, this arrow icon, so that we can see all the values which can be animated, values for this letter S that can be animated. And what we'll do is we will just create a stopwatch for this style, and a yellow key is created, and now we will also animate the letter S, or the styles for the letter S. So we'll just take our time indicator to 3 seconds, and then just double click on this letter S, the right side of the letter S, to open the layer styles, and we will try to just play with this depth value. So we can see here, and we can also change the angle here. So we can see here. So we can just play with these values, right? So let's see. So we can see how it's changing, right? And we will just do the same thing. We will go to the 5th second, and then we will just try to improve the animation even further. So what we'll do is, again, for the ellipse layer, or for this ellipse, we'll just try to change the layer style. Just double click the layer style for this ellipse, and again we'll try to change the angle, and also we will try to change the depth value. Right, so we can just change it. Okay, now we'll just see how it looks. So right, that's it. So let's do the same thing for the letter S. So again, just take the time indicator to the 5th second, double click on the layer style, just a minute, we'll keep it to the side. So just double click the layer style, and again for the letter S, we'll try to change the angle, and we will also try to change the depth. Right, that's it. Let's create a light that moves through this badge. So for that, what we need to do is just we'll take one more layer above the letter S layer, and we will just create a light strip. So how we'll create is, we'll select the rectangle tool, and we'll give it a pure white color. We'll turn off the stroke. We'll just create it like this. Right. And what we'll do is, we will just rotate it. Just keep it diagonally. And what we'll do is, we'll just keep it over here, and we will change the blending mode to color dodge. So we can see here, so we have changed the blending mode to color dodge. And what we'll do is, we can also apply some amount of blur to this. So here we will just go to filter, and we will apply a Gaussian blur to this, and we will convert it into a smart object. So we can see here something like this. Right, this looks better. And now we can animate this one also. So we will just keep it exactly over here, and we can just create a key for it. So we will just turn on this stopwatch, and directly we will go to the last frame, and we will just move this rectangle. We'll just keep it over here. That's it. And we will just play. So we can see here. Right. And one thing we can do is, for this particular rectangle, we can just double click on it, and here we can just turn off the transparency shapes layer, so we can see the brightness. So it looks very bright. So transparency shapes layer, just double click and open the layer style and turn off the transparency shapes layer. So it looks very bright. And just we can play this. So we can see the changes. Right. And also, if we don't want the rectangle to be too thick, we can do one thing. We can just increase the Gaussian blur value. So something like this. So see, we can just make it look like this, like some shine, a bright shine. Right, now we can just play it. So we can see here, a bright shine is running through the badge. So something like this. Right. So now we have completed the animation. the next thing we are supposed to do is we have to export it. Means we have to create a GIF file out of this animation. Here we can see the work area icon, the white one, and the animation will play till the position of this work area icon. So if this work area icon is a little bit inside, the animation will play till this point. So we want the entire animation, so let's keep the work area icon at the end of the animation. So something like this. Now we have to export the animation. So we'll be exporting this as a GIF file. So to export it as a GIF file, so what we are supposed to do is we'll go to File and we'll select Save As. And we will just click on this Save on the computer. So we can save wherever we want, but the most important thing to remember is we have to select the GIF format. Only in GIF format we can get the animation. So we'll select the GIF format from the list of options, and we will now just give some name to our file. So we'll say letter S badge animation, right, and we will save it. So it will take some time and then the animation will be created. So we can see our timeline. Photoshop has created too many layers here, 149 layers, even though the animation is very small, right? It's okay, and we can see GIF save options. We just have to click OK, and it will take time to save. So here we can see saving 99%. We just have to be patient and our animation will be completed. So this is our final product. So we can see a shining badge. This animation we have created entirely in Photoshop. Even though Photoshop is not a software meant for animations, there are plenty of other softwares where we can do animation in a quick time, but this is one of the wonderful features of Photoshop. So we can do some simple and small GIF animations. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please do like, share, subscribe, and if you have anything to say, do comment. See you again.